Now, unfortunately, Jayson Tatum did get injured in that series versus the New York Knicks. People think, what if Jayson Tatum never got injured? Do the Boston Celtics come back in that series? Now, recent report came out from Chris Haynes that Jayson Tatum was weighing out his options, and where it was rumored that he would inevitably at some point in time come back this season. It's looking as if he is going to not come back. According to their odds on his odds on Polymarket, right now there's a 46% chance that Jayson Tatum will play a game this season.
And that was at 70. Wasn't that a lot higher?
I was going to say, before the Chris Haynes news, it was almost a foregone conclusion. He was going to play at some point. The Boston Celtics were playing elite basketball. Jaylen Brown's playing the best that he's played in his NBA career. Celtics are a top 2 offense in basketball right now. Top 3 seed, tied for the best record, or tied for second best record in the East. When's Jayson Tatum coming? This is an inevitable demon awaiting to be awoken. And now we're kind of sitting now thinking, is he going to come back at all? I'm kind of now on the side that he's not coming back. Like, why would Chris Haynes report this one if he wasn't fed direct information? That's kind of how I'm at, especially with history of what Chris Haynes has brought forth to us. Seems like his reporting is very player driven. Players are very comfortable with Chris. Not saying that Chris is a very respected source in NBA, which is why I even feel more strongly about this. But I don't think it was wise in the first place for Tatum to even rush the rehab process to potentially come back this year. I can understand as a Celtics fan, the Celtics were cooking. But with all due respect to you, Joel, even though I did tell you that I was shocked that you weren't higher, this Celtics team was always talented. It was always going to be led by one of the better coaches in the league in Missoula and one of the better players in the game in Jaylen Brown. Now, Derek White has had his ups and downs. I take my victory laps when he plays good, but he has his ups and downs. That's what he's been this season.
He's going to be inefficient all year.
It's unfortunate. It's bothering me to a certain extent, but
It hurts.
his defense.
His defense is good.
His defense is amazing. Genuinely incredible. But the way that the Boston Celtics have been able to been so successful without a consistent big man or without a reliable big man. Listen, respect to Kate.
Mario Williams been getting some burn.
Yeah.
He started a couple of games ago.
Shout out to Luka Garza.
Yeah,
They're just trotting out who can give him the best.
But I say all that to say there was really no need to rush Tatum back. He's your franchise. He's the pillar. He's the backbone. God forbid you put him out there too early and he re-aggravates. Now this is another season down the drain. Because as good as the Celtics are, without Jayson Tatum, this is not a team that I think can go to the championship. Definitely don't think this is a team that can win the NBA championship. You need Jayson Tatum. So to rush him back, I was always on the side against it. But if Tatum tells me he's going to come back, I'm going to obviously respect what he's saying, and I'm going to be a guy that thinks if Tatum's back, Celtics can do it because that's who he's shown you to be, and you have to respect the Celtics when he's on the court.
Yeah, the timing of the report was just a little weird to me because the Pivot podcast came out with him on it, and he had quotes, and one of the quotes he was saying was, I think Ryan Clark asked him about just returning this season. He's like, yeah, if and when I come back this year, these guys have played 50, 60 games together. Like, how do I fit in with this team? And obviously Tatum has played with the majority of these players for his whole career, Jaylen Brown, White, Pritchard, and all of these dudes. But they're playing so well right now, right? Top 3 seed in the East. I think they're tied right now with New York for second. Is that, if you come back, you're not putting Tatum in the corner and just being like, all right, Jaylen, keep doing your thing, right? No. It's going to go back to kind of their 1A, 1B situation that it has been for the last few seasons. So the timing of the report was just a bit weird because it felt like, and Chris Haynes obviously has great reporting, and I do agree, it usually comes from the players, but it's like it came out basically simultaneously of the reporting come out. So it's like, did someone see the podcast and then check with someone, and then someone said like, yeah, I don't know. There was another report that came out from ESPN, and Tatum basically said like, I can only come back once. I want to make sure it's right. And I get that, right? There should never should he be rushed.
It's a funny quote.
Right? Like, never should he be rushed, right? If he's not 100%, don't play. But the expectation, even in fair or not, was he got the surgery so quick. He got this new bridge surgery, and we've seen players come back in 6 to 9 months from the Achilles that made it seem like he'll be able to come back at 100%, maybe not explosiveness-wise, but in terms of no re-aggravation sometime during the season, probably after the All-Star break. But I think Poly Market has it right. I think it's a coin flip right now. If you would have asked me a week ago, I'd have been like 70-30, 80-20. He comes back. I feel pretty confident. Mazzulla did say that he hasn't any like setbacks or anything, which was my first concern when I saw this report. But yeah, it's a little weird because it seemed like everything was going great. It was trending. You had the videos of him in front of the media, dunking, doing all of this. It's like, oh, he's coming back. Give him another month. And then this feels like it came out of the blue. It pops up a Wednesday at like 10 p.m. and there was no other reporting that came with it really. So obviously what matters for the Celtics is getting Tatum back at 100%. And if that means having to wait the season and then the offseason to make sure he's really right, and you got to hope that, he gets back to close to the explosiveness that he had, that's what matters the most. But for Boston, like this is a team that can go to the ECF this year. You know what I mean? Like this team, that they're finished with the second seed and they don't see Detroit or New York in the second round, like sure they can get to the ECF and then who knows. But it's also a roster that I agree it's not going to win a championship, So it's a tough situation.
I'd say, well, you got to love the open gym videos because when that video came out, the people thought that it was
his odd shot 84%.
No, he was over 85%.
Yeah.
When that video
was
came
always
out.
wishful thinking because to see a player tear his Achilles and come back less than a year later, it's one thing if it's a player like Kobe or I think it was Wesley Matthews
Cam
or
Akers,
at the end of their careers.
Cam Akers kind of showed why you should not do that.
He came back in like
the
5 months.
same year.
Yeah.
The same. I'm bugging.
He tore it like
Yes.
the last day of July and came back for the Super Bowl. Yeah.
That's insane.
But for a player that's 27 years old to come back, he tore his Achilles in the middle of May. To think that Tatum would come back 8 or 9 months later, to me, was always wishful thinking because he has the rest of his career. And I look at Kevin Durant, who came back from his Achilles tear. I think him and Dominique Wilkins were like the two guys that came back just as good, and in KD's case, better. But KD missed a much longer period of time to fully recover. And like you highlighted, this Celtic team this year is playing with house money, and they've clearly found this identity in the brief kind of non-Tatum gap year to where I would rather just roll it out and give Tatum all the time in the world to fully recover. And then next year, you integrate him in training camp and you get him to fully recover and then come back into the lineup. And I think that's the best thing for the Celtics. But then again, I think, I'm not a medical expert. If the Celtics think, and based off of every single person that's working with Tatum closely, that he is 100% and you win a first round series and it's been 11, 12 months, then I think it starts to become a different conversation.
You would have him come in the playoffs though.
That's tough.
It's like at that point it feels like, all right, maybe just shut it down.
Who are they playing? Like I'm not putting them out there if they play Detroit.
Like I would want to play like at
the
least 10
in the
games of
second
the regular
round.
season.
And it's been 11 months after Jayson Tatum tore his Achilles.
You playing who?
You're playing the Knicks 11 months after. Then I think it's a little bit of a different
I'll
conversation.
be
matchup
honest,
against
he could be
OG?
playing anyone. Respectfully,
Yeah.
you're telling me he's good to go. I got the green light. I'm putting him
I'm
out
just saying,
there.
like the 2-3
don't know.
matchup they play the Knicks.
Like
Yeah.
I'm saying this as a guy who is like, okay, this is your franchise. If you're telling me
That's
I'm
tough.
good to
it depends on
go,
who they play. I'm not putting them out there in a nasty physical matchup first, like after
They would
11, 12
probably
months.
play Detroit in the
I get
conference
that.
final.
You know what I'm saying?
I get
Like,
that.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
Yeah, if they finish 2, but they're tied for 2 right now. Detroit's gonna be 1. So if they finish if it's 1-8, 4-5, 3-6, if they finish, they drop maybe to 4 because Toronto's also on their ass. Then it's like you go into a round 2 matchup, Beef Stew, Jalen Duren, like them boys.
Sarge most likely going to be playing defense.
Yeah, I think it's just
combo.
a too physical series to start off. Like I think he got injured in May last year. He should not play until October 2026, start of next year. I think that's a good time frame to get right. You know your body. You can be 100% healthy, but you can't I still feel like there's 100% basketball healthy that you got to get to. And I think that's that first month or 2, and I think he should use the regular season early on to get acquainted back into things.
That's a better point.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think you guys have been having a great season. Use this as a year to just get these young players right in the playoffs. Jordan Walsh,
the young players look
Hugo,
good.
Peyton more run in the playoffs and stuff like that. Jaylen Brown, he can do his thing. And if you lose in the first round, you lose in the second round, it doesn't really matter because your main goal is be ready for next year to go win the title.
You saw the trade that the Clippers shot down? Simons, an unprotected first and a swap.
Yeah, it was not enough. If you can get more, I feel like you can get
Zoo?
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a decent offer.
Simons been hooping.
I feel like you can get more.
A first, Simons, and
a swap.
that's good.
It's
2
all right.
firsts?
What does the Celtics first really look like?
That's a
It
good
depends.
point.
Yeah, it depends what year. I mean, even still,
That's a
unless
good
it's
point.
2035.
Yeah.
And then
Even-
Simons, you're not paying him. So
This
you
was a
just-
gap year under the 3rd seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus the Clippers aren't their pick. They kind of fake have to just be like win.
Yeah, you're right, Riff. Under typical, like my way of thinking the Celtic team, there's no sense of rushing Tatum back. It makes the most sense to get back.
Team wise, they don't have the front court for it. I feel like they're still like Keita, Luke.
He's been playing well.
No, they're good like players for 82 game season, but like
once
onto
you get in the
playoffs,
it's
tough. Yeah, I don't. That's putting a lot on them, and then you got to play small ball, and it's just like
it does give you another offseason to reset because this past one was just about getting out of the second apron, getting out of the Drew contract, the KP contract, letting Luke walk. So you were going into the season kind of with a makeshift roster, and I mean to be honest, most of the guys have hit right. The young guys like you mentioned, Walsh, Hugo have looked great, and then Keita too, and then
Tim Hauser's been one of the best.
Yeah, Hauser started off a little slow, but now he's back shooting his 40% like he has every single year since high school. Garza has been solid. Mark Williams these last few games have been good. So it makes sense. It was just like more of a developmental year, which is what we were expecting. But I'd be lying if I wasn't a little disappointed. And that's not saying like that's not like saying like Tatum, come back, I need you back. But yeah, I mean because everything was just so positive. Like obviously tear your Achilles, it's terrible. Yeah. But everything was so positive after it's like, oh, he had the best surgeon. It was 24 hours. There was this, and this. So you get this anticipation that he's
rushing
back.
it.
He could be, but
I feel like he's rushing
himself. Did this not make you think that there was a setback?
That's what I thought too. But Missoula, I think it was today or yesterday, said like, no, there's no setback. He's been fine.
It does make you feel like that though. But I feel like
that was my immediate reaction.
He was so I don't want to say pressed, but he was so excited and anxious to play. Like I'm ready. I think he was pushing a little bit on the FO to like, yo, I want to get through this fast. I want to get this shit done, you know. And I get it too. Rehab is probably terrible. Like it's probably you can't do like normal day-to-day shit with it. Yeah, so it's probably like I'm done with this shit. I want to get it done as fast as possible. I think Tatum, with the way he's been talking, he wants to get on the court faster than what they want to let him do. And I think he should follow the FO's plan. Like, yo, we're good. We know we can win with you. Get right next year.
The Celtics are also notorious for keeping things in house and not, revealing everything to the public.
I will say, I love where their heads at with Zubac. Like at minimum, if you're going to try and salvage a season, I think that a move like that,
and it's Simons. You're not going to pay him.
You're not, because I think that your foundation at the guard position is already set. It's Derek White, some variation of Derek White, Payton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, and then of course when Jayson Tatum comes back, he's going to be on the ball. But that's really what ideally where your head's at.